Hey everyone, my name's Eric Berry. I'm a junior in civil engineering, and I'm about to give you my reflection for CEE 300. I took it the spring 2016 semester. So here we go. My reflection is pretty much going to focus on, the parallel sessions. Um, I might touch on a couple things other than that, but that's basically my main focus. Something I think everyone could agree on would probably be that you learned a lot about yourself, if not the biggest learning or thing you learned about in the class was not actually engineering related, but more about how you operate and how you conduct yourself in a professional manner. And the class is definitely different. It's not a structures or a materials class. Um, Aside from the economic stuff, there's not a lot of math involved. So in some ways, it's kind of refreshing. I enjoyed that. So Dr. Seeger, um, he's an interesting dude. He, I don't know how best to describe him. He can definitely be an asshole sometimes, but I think he's a pretty straight shooter, and it's a trait I appreciate in a professor, definitely. He really seems to care. I don't know why I said seems. He definitely cares, um, and he listens, and he always has a response. But sometimes he's going to call you out on your bullshit. So that can be a little intimidating. Um, but I think the way you benefit from the class the most is by communicating with him, talking with him, discussing things with him. So learning about things like your Colby score in the class and how to break a commitment or the differences between critiques and criticisms. Those are all really beneficial, in my opinion, to future endeavors, not just within the school, but once you start making your way out into the career field. I think where the course fails, though, is in the organization of all that. Um, Especially, I guess, it seems to me like they dropped the ball on the financial lessons. The tech reports were good, they were helpful, but I don't feel like there was as much of an emphasis on that area of the course as much as there was on these other lessons. And that's not to say that there wasn't emphasis, it's just I think the way they went about teaching it is a lot more kind of make sure you take care of it outside of class on your own, which isn't bad. There's a responsibility on students to do that, but I think the way they set up the course and trying to do these parallel sessions, kind of like recitations, was a good idea, but there just wasn't any strategy to it. The TAs really didn't seem to have any idea of what they were supposed to be doing, what their roles were, um, and it just wasn't coordinated enough to be beneficial. I went to, I think I might have missed one, but I went to most of them, and I never left thinking, wow, I just learned something, or that's helpful. And I think that goes back to just how you learn. I know in class we talked about how a lot of people, myself included, would benefit from seeing in class examples on the whiteboard done by Seeger, and being Seeger and how honest and straight shooter that he is. He said I don't like teaching that way. That's not how I want to teach, which to some extent I understand, but that one-on-one interaction and seeing someone else do it, I think is definitely beneficial, and I think the parallel sessions set themselves up to have that kind of interaction, but there just wasn't that interaction. Um, Seeger used the analogy, it's like watching someone else do push-ups and getting strong from that, or supposedly improving your strength. But I think it's better to use the analogy of doing push-ups next to someone, is improving them by motivating them and doing it right along with them. So my thought is that I guess if you're going to keep the parallel sessions going, there just needs to be more of a clear, idea of what the responsibilities are for the instructional staff. Um, hey, we're going over these problems, do these examples, or they're expected to do this. It just didn't seem like there was that clear expectation of what the TAs were supposed to be doing. Um, and I don't know if maybe there was, and the TAs just weren't doing it. But it just seemed like there wasn't any structure behind that, and that would be definitely something to improve. Personally, though, I I don't even know if the parallel sessions are helpful. Um, I mean, you have to teach the financial part. I'm assuming that's part of the requirement for the course. But the days I benefited the most and felt I learned things were the days where I got to hear Dr. Seeger lecture, um, which is definitely interesting because it seemed like he was making up a good portion of it just on the spot. Uh, but the days that he doesn't show up, he's busy or he's out of town or whatever he's doing, and they have a TA running it or something like that, they're just not nearly as beneficial. I don't engage, or I didn't engage, and I just kind of found the class pointless. Whether or not the parallel sessions are kept, I mean, that's up to the instructional team, and I think there's a potential for them to be the best part of the class, but I think my number one recommendation or wish is that Seeger had been there more. Um, I felt like I said, I benefited the most when he was there giving lectures. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. I know I probably took a little bit longer than I should have, but I just like to ramble on. So, thanks.